I'm Meredith, and lately I've been watching these videos on YouTube that are posted by people who are either in the process of losing weight or have lost weight, and they're posting pictures and just updates of their progress. And it inspired me to do it myself and to post some of my own videos that chart my progress, hoping that by doing this I might feel a little more inspired and held accountable to really sticking with it and following it and losing weight. So stats, I'll share first. It's a little scary, share stats, but I'll do that. So I started Weight Watchers, which is the way that I have chosen to lose weight, on Tuesday. So I did my first official weigh-in so that my starting weight on Tuesday, July 8th, was 217. Now, I have followed Weight Watchers for the last 4 days, and my weigh-in day is on Fridays, so once a week you chart your weight. That's how Weight Watchers works. And so I weighed myself today, and I am now 213.4 or 0.6, something like that. So I'm feeling pretty good. 4 days, 3.5 pounds, pretty good. Pretty sure I'm gonna have a good loss tomorrow too. So anyway, as I was watching these videos, the ones that I found to be the most interesting were ones that had something to offer too, you know, like if they posted recipes or tips, that kind of thing. And so I thought I would try to offer something as well. And there are a few things I could do, but one thing that I've gotten pretty darn good at is making salad. So for the past, I don't know, probably a year, I have had a salad as a meal or with a meal at least once a day. And so I feel like I've somewhat perfected the art of making a salad. And I vary it depending on what I'm in the mood for, but here's the routine. So the first thing is the lettuce. Now, any chef will tell you that lettuce has to be dry. That really, in order for the lettuce to be really crisp and good and really lettucey, it has to be dry. And so you've got the spinners that you use and all kinds of different ways that you can dry lettuce. And so what I found really works best if I'm really looking to have dry lettuce, which I especially really want when school's in and I'm packing a salad, because if you put wet lettuce in a Tupperware, by the time it's lunchtime, it's pretty disgusting. So, so what I found works is and I should say also, you can buy bagged lettuce, of course, and I do that sometimes, but I really like red leaf and green leaf lettuce, which you don't really find in bags so much. So what I usually do every week, I'll buy a bag. I will buy one bag of like the iceberg garden, and sometimes I'll buy a bag of romaine also, but I'll buy a bag of iceberg, just cheapo iceberg lettuce. And then I'll also buy a head of green leaf and a head of red leaf lettuce. And so I'll keep the bag in the fridge, and then I'll take the red leaf and the green leaf and I'll wash it all up, you know, fill the sink with water, put all the lettuce in, swish it around, get it all clean, and then break it up as I'm putting it into the spinner, and then spin it until it's dry. Usually it takes a couple of batches. Now, once I've spun it, then here's the key. I take a kitchen towel and I lay it out, and I put all that spun lettuce onto the kitchen towel, wrap it up, roll it up, and stuff it into a Ziploc, or sometimes even the produce bag that it came in. And I do that with all of the red leaf and green leaf lettuce, and then I put that in the fridge. And so every morning when I'm packing my lunch, I just get the Tupperware, put the iceberg and the romaine, or sometimes romaine, and the red leaf and green leaf. That's good. Now, the only other thing is that I have found when I'm home and I'm not needing to pack my salad, that, and I'm watching what I eat, that if the lettuce is actually wet, the dressing goes further and I don't need to use as much of it. So when I'm home and I'm not packing, I'll often leave the lettuce kind of wet, and I'll even break it up like right out of the sink into the bowl. Now, what goes on the lettuce? So when school's in, it's pretty spare. Like, I'll usually put the lettuce in the Tupperware and break up a little goat cheese on top. And sometimes I'll keep the goat cheese at school in the refrigerator, break it up on top, and then have a little Tupperware dressing, because you can't put the dressing on until right before you eat it. It gets really soggy and disgusting then. So that's my school day salad, but that's not so interesting. But when school's not in and I'm home and I'm making a salad, I add lots of different things, and here are my favorite things. Well, goat cheese is one of my absolute favorite things. I love goat cheese in a salad, and it's even better if I put a little goat cheese and walnuts. Now, goat cheese is pretty low calorie. It's, and especially as much as you would use in a salad. You can, you should count it. Make sure you count it, but it's not very much. You might add 1 point on Weight Watchers. Walnuts add a little bit, so you kind of have to decide. But still, for a salad, and once you add dressing, you're still looking at maybe 5 points for a salad. So, but when I'm home, there are lots of other things that I like to add. So, first is the dressing that I use, and my favorite dressing is this Annie's Naturals Goddess dressing, and it's probably just Caesar. It's just a basic Caesar, but there's something about it that is really, really good. And you can get it organic. This one isn't, but it's just my favorite dressing. So that that's pretty much always the dressing that I use, and you can tell because it's almost gone. And then sometimes, not always, but sometimes I'll put croutons on. Croutons, so good. And they're really worth it. They feel like a little bit of an extravagance, and they add points to your salad for sure. But like this one, you get 5 croutons for 25 calories. So if you have 10 croutons, that's pretty much an average salad's worth. You're adding 1 point to your salad. I think it's okay. You can afford it. Then the other thing that I like to add is Bragg's. Now Bragg's, it's sort of like soy sauce, but better, I think, and it's liquid aminos, which I'm not exactly sure what that means, but really good. Tastes a lot like soy sauce, and again, so it's a little salty, and it's another thing that it's really liquidy, and if you squirt it on top of your dressing, it makes the dressing go further again. So I just love it. I love the flavor, and I love how it makes the dressing go further. I pretty much use this on every salad I make. And then the other thing that I really love is gamasio. Now gamasio is ground up sesame seeds and sea salt. Another sort of just like seasoning kind of thing. It's like you would use it like you use Parmesan cheese. And you just sprinkle it on. Really good. And it's seeds, which I always think seeds are it's they're these little nuggets of nutrition, and there's a lot in them, and often seeds have a lot of fat and calories also, but sesame seeds, not very much. And so for this, 1 teaspoon is 15 calories. So you'd have to use 3 teaspoons before before you'd have to count it, really. And so I usually use 2 teaspoons, and I do count it. 2 teaspoons, 1 point. So so like the salad I had for dinner tonight, 2 tablespoons of dressing, which it's not fat-free or anything like that, so you have to give yourself that, but I really don't like many fat-free dressings. So this is 2 tablespoons for 130 calories, so It's a little bit. So 3 points you figure for the dressing. And then for the croutons, 1 point. If you have 10 croutons, 1 point. So there we're at 4. And then add another point for the gamasio, and then you're at 5. So, and that's a pretty decent sized salad too. So that's what I had for dinner. 5 points. Really easy. It allowed me to eat a couple of cookies earlier today that my mom made. And so yeah, that's it. That's my how to make a salad.